Assalamu alaikum students. I'm Dr. Sanya Jafri from Physiology Department, FRPMC, and today we are going to examine the arterial pulse. My colleague Dr. Saadat Zahra is going to explain you the procedure in detail, and we are going to demonstrate it in front of you as well. Okay, so the material which is required for this practical is of course a subject, and on a subject we will be doing it manually, and with Power Lab we need a Power Lab and a subject both. So, but today in this practical we are going to perform it manually. Okay, so for the pulse, what do you need to look? We look at the rate, rhythm, volume, character, condition of the vessel wall, and then we compare both the pulses like of the right side and on the left side. So this is how we are going to look for the pulse to perform the practical. And we are going to demonstrate it over here, so that will be easy for you to learn. Okay, it is a very simple procedure. We just simply lay our index and third finger on the inside of the wrist below the base of the thumb, and then we locate a tendon and the bone. Between the bone and the tendon we will be feeling the pulse. You can feel the pulsation, and this is the exact spot for the radial artery. And of course this radial artery is going to tell you about the pulse and about the character, the volume, and the character of the vessel wall, the rate. You are going to calculate it from here, and you are supposed to count it for 1 whole minute. Alright?
Okay students, I am going to explain you the manual procedure. The following points are noted while examining the pulse. Number 1 is rate. What is rate? Rate is the speed of the heartbeat, which is measured by the number of contractions of heart per minute. Okay. Pulse is counted for 1 minute for recording of the rate. Now come to the rhythm. The rhythm is the time interval between the 2 beats. Normally there is regular rhythm, but there may be slightly disturbed rhythm during inspiration and expiration. Now come to the volume. What is volume? Volume is the amplitude of the wave passing through the vessel during the ventricular contraction. All the conditions which lead to increased cardiac output also increases the volume of pulse. Okay, I will explain the character of the pulse later. First we will discuss the condition and comparison. Okay, now come to the condition of the vessel wall. Students, normally this is examined by applying pressure on the radial artery by placing the index finger and the middle finger. Okay. In a normal person, when we put the hand on the radial artery, we will feel the pulsations. But if there is atherosclerosis, the radial artery would be felt like a cord. Now come to the comparison. In comparison of the pulse, we will compare different pulses simultaneously. Like we will compare the pulsation in right and left radial artery, and then we will compare radial pulse with carotid pulse, and then we will compare radial pulse with femoral pulse. In coarctation of aorta, the femoral pulse is delayed as compared with the radial and carotid pulse. Now come to the character of the pulse. We have different characters. Number 1 is collapsing pulse or water hammer pulse. What is collapsing pulse? It is the rapid, large volume, non-sustained pulse. And how we palpate the collapsing pulse? We will put the index finger and the middle finger on the radial artery, and then we will suddenly raise the arm. In water hammer pulse, the volume of the pulse will increase and there will be a sudden rise and then fall in the amplitude of the pulse. I am going to show you in the slide. Okay, see, in normal, the normal pulsation felt like this, but in a water hammer pulse, there is a sudden rise in the volume of the pulse and then sudden decrease. Why there is a sudden decrease? Because of the low resistance of the peripheral vessels. There is a backflow of the blood. Now come to the pulses paradoxus. This is a misnomer. It is an abnormally large decrease in stroke volume, systolic BP and pulse wave amplitude. Normally, there is a decrease in the volume of the pulse during inspiration, but in pulses paradoxus, there is an abnormally large decrease. Okay, now come to pulses alternans. In pulses alternans, there is one strong beat and then one weak beat alternatively. It is present in left ventricular systolic impairment. Okay. Now the last one is pulses deficit. What is pulses deficit? It is a type of pulse in which there is a difference in the rate of pulse and the apex beat. It is present in atrial fibrillation. Okay students, thank you for listening.
Okay, so students, we are going to perform the examination of arterial pulse. That how are we going to take the pulse? So let the subject sit comfortably on a chair and let his hand rest on a hand rest, a little flexed at the elbow and at the wrist, and then you can place your index finger and your third finger on just beneath the thumb like this, beneath the bone which is felt below the thumb, and then you can feel this tendon also, this prominent tendon. So between this bone and the tendon, you can feel the pulsation of radial artery. The point where you feel the radial artery, start counting the rate. Remember to have wrist watches in your hands whenever you are examining the pulse. Start counting it for 1 whole minute. The rate should come between 60 to 100 beats per minute, and usually at an average around 72 beats per minute or 75 beats per minute it is calculated. Along with the rate, don't forget to look for the rhythm, either it is regular or irregular. Don't forget to watch for the volume, the character of the vessel wall, and the comparison which is done in the end. When you're done calculating with the rate for 1 whole minute, then compare it with the other hand. Of course, you will go to the other side of the subject and then look for the comparison in the other hand of the pulse. Alright student, so now I am going to tell you about the water hammer pulse. How will you demonstrate it? How will you perform it? As I just told you, that you are going to put your middle and index finger and feel for the radial pulse, and immediately when you feel, you are going to raise the hand of the subject like this. Suddenly there will be a collapse. Thank you, students. I hope you have understood the procedure of arterial pulse. I'm Dr. Sania Jaffrey from Physiology Department, FRPMC. And I'm here to tell you how to record the blood pressure of a subject. The material which is required for this method is a stethoscope, a sphygmomanometer, which could be of any variety, aneroid sphygmomanometer or a mercury type. And we also do this method by using a power lab with the lab tutor, but at the moment we are doing it manually using aneroid sphygmomanometer. So what is blood pressure? Blood pressure is defined as the force which is exerted by the blood on the unit area of the vessel wall. The normal ranges are, for systolic blood pressure, it ranges from 100 to 140 mmHg. The diastolic blood pressure ranges from 60 to 90 mmHg. The average reading is 120 by 80 mmHg. The procedure for this recording of blood pressure is by three methods. We use palpatory method, the auscultatory method, and we use power lab system, but at the moment we are just going to record the blood pressure by palpatory and auscultatory method. Palpatory method is done when the subject should be lying down on the examination table or he should be sitting on the examination table. You approach the patient from the right side, you take the consent and explain him the procedure, and then you start with your procedure. You look for the elbow crease and the cubital fossa, just 2 to 3 centimeters above that, you apply the River-Rocky cuff. Palpate the radial pulse, and you know how to palpate the radial pulse as we have learned in the examination of arterial pulse. Okay, so now when you have located the pulse, you close the valve of the cuff and then start inflating. When you inflate the cuff, the radial pulse should be constantly felt simultaneously, and you note that point where the pulse disappears. Note that reading on the gauge. This gives you your systolic blood pressure. Note that reading and now deflate the cuff by moving the knob in the opposite direction. Assalamu alaikum, students. We are here to record how to take the blood pressure, and as you know that we record the blood pressure by two methods. One is palpatory and the other is auscultatory. We are first going to demonstrate how to take the palpatory method. Okay, the subject is sitting comfortably on the couch and we have to explain him the procedure. अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मेरा नाम डॉक्टर सनिया है और मैं आपका ब्लड प्रेशर का मुआयना करूँगी. आपकी इजाज़त है?
जी बिल्कुल.
Okay, so as you know that you have to see the arm, and just above the elbow crease you have the cubital fossa here, and you can see the crease. Just above the crease, like 1 to 2 centimeters above, you are going to tie the River-Rocky cuff like this. All right, and then you are going to place the gauge on the cuff so that you can record the reading. Since it is a palpatory method, so we are going to locate for the radial pulse, and then start inflating the cuff. With this method, we are going to record the systolic reading only. We cannot record the diastolic reading through palpatory method. So students, as we know that how do we have to take the pulse? We keep the hand of the subject in mid-prone position, wrist a little flexed, and then below the thumb and this tendon, we locate the radial artery. Okay, there are two methods of locating the pulse with your two fingers, your index and middle finger. But if you use 3 fingers, the sensitivity increases up to 88%. So ideally, this is the best method because this is how you can appreciate the pulse very well. But definitely you can use 2 fingers also. So I am starting to locate the pulse. I can locate the pulse very well and I can appreciate it very well. Now again, I have tightened the valve. I'm going to inflate here, start inflating. I can now not appreciate the pulse at this moment. The moment it disappears, that is your systolic reading. So now the auscultatory method. Here we will be needing the aneroid apparatus along with a stethoscope. So the subject should be lying down on the examination table. Again, you approach the patient from the right side, you take the consent and you explain him the procedure. You look for the elbow crease, cubital fossa, and just above 2 to 3 centimeters above that, you apply the cuff on the arm. Okay. Remember students, the cuff shouldn't be very tight and it shouldn't be very loose. Alright, it should just allow 1 finger gap underneath the cuff. Alright, it shouldn't be very tight and very loose. Okay, now when you have applied the cuff, you put your bell, stethoscope bell, on the diaphragm, I'm sorry, not the bell, the diaphragm of the stethoscope on the cubital fossa. And you tighten the knob and then you start inflating the cuff. On the aneroid gauge, you look for the reading, inflate the cuff up to the mark of 170 or 180. And when you hear there will be no pulsation heard, no sound heard. Alright, that is the point up to the when you're going up to the mark of 180, there will be no sound. Alright. When you slowly start deflating it in the opposite direction, when you unlock the knob, but you have to do it very slowly. If you do it very fast, suddenly the air will come out and the cuff will be deflated. Then you will be unable to record the reading. Alright? So do it slowly. When you do it slowly, so you will come to a point where you will start appreciating a sound. When the first sound, the Korsakoff sound will appear, note that reading. That is your systolic blood pressure reading. Alright? And as you come down, the sound will disappear again. And the first moment where the sound will disappear, that is your diastolic blood pressure reading. Okay? So you note the systolic and diastolic blood pressure reading. That is the exact blood pressure of that subject. You repeat this process in that subject in sitting, in lying, and in standing procedures. Both. Alright? Okay students, so we have the subject lying comfortably here on the couch. We are going to explain him the procedure that, and we have to ask him, we have to take the consent from him. अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मेरा नाम डॉक्टर सनिया है और आपका ब्लड प्रेशर का मुआयना करना चाह रही हूँ, आपकी इजाज़त है?
जी जी बिल्कुल
ठीक है. See, you take the arm of the patient, you wrap the cuff around the arm just above the elbow crease. You can see this is the elbow crease and this is called the cubital fossa. All right, just 2 centimeters above the elbow crease and cubital fossa, you are going to tie the cuff, the River Rocky cuff. All right, now you place the aneroid gauge like this on the cuff, and this is how you are going to move the valve in the opposite direction. Place the stethoscope bell on the cubital fossa like this and start inflating the bulb. While you are inflating, can you see the needle? It is moving up. Go up to 180 and then move the valve in the other direction very slowly and start listening to the sound. The moment where you hear the sound is your systolic blood pressure, the first reading, and the moment where it disappears again is your second reading, that is your diastolic blood pressure.
Okay students, thank you for listening.